Jack, the solid starter of the high school baseball team, was in a slump. Despite being good for 15 wins every season, he hadn't won a single game this year and couldn't pitch for more than 4 innings before the manager pulled him out of the game. Jack's girlfriend, Anna, had read about a therapist, Dr. Norton, who used hypnosis to aid slumping sports stars. She urged Jack to make an appointment, and although he initially pushed it aside, he eventually mentioned the idea to his manager, who agreed to give it a try. Jack arrived at Dr. Norton's waiting room and was surprised by the nature of her other patients. He didn't see a single male athlete in the place. The whole situation added to his nervousness. Dr. Norton's receptionist, a pert in a tight mini-skirt, motioned him to the door. Jack entered the therapist's sanctum sanctorum, which was a richly appointed room with dark walls, black furniture, and drawn curtains. The one spot of light was a small lamp on the doctor's desk, and there was a high-back swivel chair behind the desk turned to the windows, so Jack couldn't see its occupant. Suddenly the chair turned, and Jack was stunned by his first sight of the therapist. Dr. Norton was a glamorous auburn-haired beauty, her hair falling to her shoulders in gentle waves. She wore a conservative power suit that was carefully tailored to her lush body. Jack had no idea that his therapist would be female. "Please have a seat," she said, indicating a black leather recliner. Jack sat, and the chair immediately adjusted to a half-reclining position, his head on a level with the lamp on the desk. "That's very good, Jack," Dr. Norton continued. "Just relax and look at the light. The light is very relaxing, isn't it? All you can see is the light. All you can hear is my voice." Jack realized she was hypnotizing him, but it didn't really concern him. After all, that's what he had come here for. In a very short time, he was completely unaware of anything happening around him. Cleo Norton smiled to herself. Yes, Jack would be yet another great subject. She must remember to thank Anna for recommending him. She stood and stripped out of her suit, revealing her severely restricted waist in its PVC corset. "Open your eyes, Jack," she said quietly. "You are still deeply hypnotized, but you can see what I tell you to see." "What do you see, Jack?" "I see you, Dr. Norton," he replied numbly. "Do you like what you see?" "Yes, Doctor. You're very beautiful," Jack answered. "Would you like to be this beautiful?" the hypnotist asked the entranced youth. "How could I be?" Jack was confused, even in his mesmerized state. "I'm not a girl." "Leave that to me," Dr. Norton replied, smiling. Later that afternoon, Anna entered Dr. Norton's office. The receptionist grinned and waved her into the inner room. Anna stood for a moment, momentarily unsure that she had arrived at the appointed time. Dr. Norton sat behind her desk, grinning like a Cheshire cat, while a tall, attractive blonde girl, clad in a very short mini-dress, posed on the couch. The girl seemed completely unaware of Anna's presence, even though the door was in her line of sight. Then the reality dawned on Anna. "Oh my God," she gasped. "Jack, please," Dr. Norton corrected her. "It's Jack Hunther now." She stood and walked over to the transformed athlete. "Right." Jack Hunther obeyed Anna's command without hesitation, moving gracefully to the rhythm of a slow, sensual tune playing in the background. Her movements were fluid and seductive, her body swaying with every beat. Anna watched with admiration, feeling a sense of power and control over her lover. As the song came to an end, Jack Hunther turned to face Anna, a look of longing in her eyes. "I love you so much, Anna," she said, her voice soft and sweet. "I would do anything for you." Anna smiled, feeling a rush of excitement and arousal. She walked over to Jack Hunther and took her in her arms, holding her close. "I know you would, my love," she said, her lips brushing against Jack Hunther's ear. "And I promise to take good care of you." With that, Anna led Jack Hunther to the bed, where they spent the rest of the night exploring each other's bodies, lost in a world of passion and desire. In the weeks that followed, Anna found herself growing more and more addicted to the power she held over Jack Hunther. She would often use the trigger phrase to switch her lover's personality, enjoying the feeling of control it gave her. But as time went on, Anna began to feel a sense of guilt and shame over what she was doing. She knew that what she was doing was wrong, that she was manipulating and exploiting Jack's vulnerability. Finally, one day, she made the decision to end the charade. She sat down with Jack and explained everything to him, apologizing profusely for what she had done. To her surprise, Jack was surprisingly understanding. "I knew something was different," he said, his voice calm and measured. "I just didn't know what it was." Anna felt a wave of relief wash over her. She had expected Jack to be angry and resentful, but instead, he was willing to forgive her and move on. Together, they worked with a new therapist, one who specialized in helping athletes overcome slumps without the use of hypnosis. Over time, Jack regained his confidence and his form, once again becoming the star pitcher he had always been. And while their relationship had been forever changed by what had happened, Anna and Jack remained committed to each other, determined to build a future together that was based on honesty, trust, and mutual respect. Anna watched with a smile on her face as Jacquantha began to dance for her. She had always been attracted to Jack, but seeing him as a girl was a whole new level of desire for her. She loved the way he moved, so graceful and fluid, and the way he looked in the feminine gown and lingerie made her heart race. As Jacquantha twirled around the room, Anna couldn't resist the temptation any longer. She walked up to the dancer and pulled her into a passionate kiss. Jacquantha responded eagerly, wrapping her arms around Anna's neck and deepening the kiss. It was like nothing either of them had experienced before. Anna felt an electricity in the air, a raw and powerful attraction that she had never felt with anyone else. And for Jacquantha, it was like a dream come true, finally able to express the feelings she had been suppressing for so long. After a few minutes, they broke the kiss, both breathing heavily. "I love you so much, Jacquantha," Anna said, looking into her lover's eyes. "And I love you, Anna," Jacquantha replied with a smile. For the rest of the night, they explored each other's bodies, making love with a passion and intensity that neither of them had ever experienced before. And as the sun began to rise, they lay in bed together, exhausted but completely satisfied. As they cuddled together, Anna whispered the trigger phrase that Dr. Norton had given her, and Jacquantha slowly faded away, replaced once again by Jack. But even as a boy, he knew that he would never forget the amazing experience he had just had, and that he would always love Anna for helping him discover a side of himself that he had never known existed.